Greetings YouTube and welcome back to another vlog. So today, what shall we talk about? I know at this rate it might as well be a catchphrase for my channel. So without further ado, let's begin. So today's, one of today's topic is the football. And I've said I have not been interested in the World Cup for obvious reasons. Not just politics, but the other stuff that's been going on behind it. But yeah, I had a look at some of the results, just to be a little nosy. Yeah, so I know Qatar, yeah, they lost 2-0 to, who was it they were playing? I can't remember. Not that it matters. Oh yeah, it was Ecuador. Not that it matters. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they probably built those stadiums with cardboard cutouts so they could probably knock them down once it's over because, look, who cares? I love the World Cup, but not this time. Yeah, I know England beat Iran 6-2, but you'd expect that. Moving on. And the reason why I'm saying moving on is because, honestly, everyone knows we're going to beat them. Yeah, I mean, there's some people getting into a bloody orgasm because, oh yeah, we're playing world-class football against Iran. Seriously. Yeah, they are possibly one of the worst countries for football. And I'm amazed that they even have the sport there. I'm amazed. So yeah, England, we're going to win the World Cup. What, by beating shit like that? Yeah, we're not exactly a great team ourselves, so for goodness sake, people, don't big yourselves up. Don't big yourselves up. And yeah, Wales drew 1-0 with the USA. They came from behind thanks to a Gareth Bale penalty. Yeah, I know there's some other results, but yeah. However, there was one result that I didn't expect, and that was Argentina losing 2-1 to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, despite Lionel Messi scoring a controversial penalty to begin with. But yeah, as I said, I didn't watch any of the games. I've not watched any of the games on the football. I've just seen the scores on the BBC Sports website, and I don't know if a couple of people have uploaded like highlights. That's all. That's all that really bothered because I'm not watching it on my telly. No. So yeah, I think we'll move away from that because let's be honest with you, no one's been enjoying it, and the only people who've been enjoying it are those who, let's just say, who are a little bit delusional. So that's that. Yeah, and the good news is Cristiano Ronaldo has left Manchester United. So yeah, so after a mutual agreement, they've decided to terminate his contract. Sorry about that little jump cut. I know my camera's been a bit weird. So anyway, as we were saying about Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, he has parted ways with Manchester United after both him and the club have decided that the best course of action was to terminate his contract. As I say, it was a shame his second spell at Old Trafford wasn't the fairy tale like it was, as it were, in his first spell from 2003 to 2009. But yeah, the interview with Piers Morgan, I think, was enough to let Manchester United know that he is no longer needed. It's a shame it had to end like that, but in the end, it was best for both parties to go their separate ways. And speaking of Manchester United, apparently the owners, the Glazers, are putting the club up for sale, which I think United fans would be happy about. So anyway, moving away from the football, because I know some of you are not interested in the sport. I completely get that. I mean, I'm a massive fan of the sport, but when certain things happen, unfortunately, certain things you cannot defend, and you can certainly not put up with a political bollocks, which that's all it is at this rate. But yeah, So, what else have I been doing? Tonight, I'm cooking one of my favourite meals. Something I've not made in a long time. And the last time I had it, I absolutely enjoyed. And that was, steak and steak with a peppercorn sauce, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. Last time I had it with chips, but yeah, this time we haven't got like the thick oven chips, which I usually prefer with them. So I'm just using the potato wedges instead, which are just as nice. And I occasionally like cooking when I've got time. Of course, I like proper homemade meals. I know, but sometimes when I'm busy, I buy the ready-made meals, which, let's be honest with you, they're not exactly good for you, but sometimes you gotta have, sometimes you gotta have stuff like that when the time isn't your best friend. So, I just enjoy doing home cooking, especially when the weather's colder like it is today. Yeah, I mean, I've had the radiator on because it's been absolutely freezing cold. It's not fun at all. I've not enjoyed this. I've not enjoyed the cold weather at all. So yeah, excuse me. Got to wipe my eyes. In fact, yeah, I hate this. I know. I'm just using the t-shirt. I'm just using the t-shirt, which it's going in the washer anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, my eyes are watering because of, like I said, I have a few allergies as well, which I don't know why. Sometimes sometimes they kick off when I'm recording a video, and as I say, there are times where some days it's not as bad as others. So yeah, nice little drink of 7 Up. I know this vlog is going all over the place, but as I say, it would make for an interesting one if that wasn't the case. So yeah, so what other meals do I like making? I like doing a homemade chicken curry, which I probably haven't. I'll be doing a curry sometime this week anyway. Yeah, I think it's a chicken tikka masala. Last curry I had was a jalfrezi, which was surprisingly spicy, because I know I had like a couple like chili flakes and stuff like that, because I do like my curries quite spicy, but I don't put too much in as not to burn me gob. So that's that. Yeah, so I try and eat healthy throughout the week. The only time I treat myself is on a Saturday. Like on a Saturday, I sort of have like a chippy dinner. I sort of order a Chinese, a pizza, and if not, a McDonald's. But yeah, I do. Like I say, it's a once a week thing. I mean, it's not like I eat it every day because of the amounts of calories that are in them. Do you wish fast food was healthy? Of course, but it doesn't work like that. And the thing is, why is it the meals that are bad for you are the ones that taste the best? Yet the veggies and all that don't taste anywhere near as nice. But yeah, I'll say I'm just unprepared. Just use this t-shirt again. I don't know why it's doing this today. Dear God. Getting on me absolute tits, but I wanted to do this vlog anyway. I just wanted to get something out the way. Because because I know this afternoon, British Gas are coming out to have a look at the radiator in the bathroom, because even though the radiators are working perfectly in the house, they're not. Unfortunately, in the bathroom, it's not working properly. So and it's not getting hot at all. So over night time, it's absolutely bitter. But yeah, where I am in this room, it's actually I'd say it's not too bad yet. Yeah, the radiators are cooling down a bit because I had them on for a little bit this morning. And I'll probably have them on again later just to warm the room up. But, as I say, but it's not like I'm having the heating on permanently because of the cost of living crisis, which I think we're all a little bit fed up of hearing. But, as I say, I'm not in the position yet where I need to like turn the heating off, because as I say, at the moment I'm stable, but as I say, at the same time I'm being careful, and but as I've been stockpiling like tins of food, tins of food like beans, soup, just because, well, just in case things get a little bit, things get a little bit tight, shall we say, but at the moment everything is hunky-dory. And yeah, I've not bought anything for a while. I'm not bothered buying any like football shirts or anything like that. I mean, I've bought a couple of games, but I'm saving them for when I do the collection videos, because I'm planning on doing a few. I've done a few collection videos in the past, but I feel as if I need to update some of them, because, as I say, there's some games I got rid of and there's a couple of additions. I know I showed off a few games I've bought from like the charity shop, like when I was in Southport, when I got some of the Sega Mega Drive games. And I remember once going into one of them and I thought, you know what, I found some Commodore 64 games. Picked it up and I realised it was for the Amstrad CPC. I haven't got an Amstrad. I mean, it's good that I found an Amstrad. It was like a pack of Amstrad. It was like a bundle of games that was for the Amstrad. But yeah, they were on cassette, but I know I just assumed it was C64 without even looking. But yeah, it's one of those things. I enjoy looking for like the old retro games. I know the CEX where I was, not CEX, sorry, Cash Converters, they were selling a few C64 games. And some of them I already have, and there's some games I'm not really interested in. But yeah, I mean, there was one game I did see, and that was One Man and His Droid, which of course, I know I've played it. It's not the greatest game in the world, but it's got fantastic music by Rob Hubbard, and it's in the Invader load, so that's probably it. Because I know games on the Commodore 64, if the game is shit, and quite a few times some of them are, it's sometimes just worth it. It's sometimes just worth loading the game just to listen to the music. Sometimes the music, and quite often, the music is sometimes the best part of the game. Like Miami Vice, the piece of music on that goes on for about, I'd say, at least 11 minutes. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what? It's actually one of the songs that Jan Hammer did for the Miami Vice soundtrack. But yeah, Martin Galway did a very good job of it on the C64. And listening to it, you honestly wouldn't think it was coming from a C64. You'd honestly think it was an actual song playing from the radio. And that's from a game from 1986. But yeah, I think the C64 has the best sound out of all the 8-bits. Not just microcomputers, just 8-bit in general, like the NES Master System. But yeah, I think the Commodore 64 has the best sound chip. I know the NES has like 5 sound channels. The C64 has 3. And my god, what they do with those with those 3 channels is just absolutely amazing. Depending who composes the game, of course. You don't go looking for Jim Cuomo. Fucking hell, his stuff is absolutely dreadful. But it's quite funny. But yeah, speaking of the C64 music, I finished doing the series of it because I've done like 16 videos of it. I've enjoyed doing them, but as I say, all good things must come to an end at some point. Because while I've enjoyed doing them, I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting to run out of some of my favourite songs. But the music that I've got is from C64 games. I haven't got music from like demos or them crack intros. I mean, there's some interesting stuff, and there's some people who are still making music for the C64. And you know what? Some of the stuff that some of the people are producing, you wouldn't think it was from a computer that came out in 1982. Some of the samples that they use are absolutely clean. Yeah, have a look at there's two I think you should look at. There's Jason Page. I mean, he was already a video game composer back in the late 80s and early 90s. Because I know he did the music for Rainbow Islands on the Commodore 64. I think he did the music on the Amiga version. He did the music for Fire and Ice on the Amiga, which I think that's a great soundtrack. But he's come back. He's created his own like original work. It's absolutely fantastic. What was another one? Marcus Klein, I think that's the name. Yeah, Marcus Klein. He did a song called I think it's called Hi-Fi Sky. It doesn't sound like it's from a Commodore 64. I heard someone playing like, are you sure it's from a Commodore 64? Yeah, it turned out it is. But yeah, what the SID chip could do is just absolutely fantastic. It really is. I could talk about it all day, but you know, I've got other stuff to do and to talk about as well. But yeah. Oh, actually, just before I move on, I said I finished doing the C64 music videos. I know here's an idea that I thought of. I'm going to do like a top 20 or a top 25. But what I'm going to do, instead of doing like my favourite tunes, I'm going to do my favourite tune from each composer. Like I could do my favourite tune from Rob Hubbard, David Whittaker, Sharon Tell, Jonathan Dunn. You get the idea. I could do one of them. I could. And I think that's an idea that'll be in the pipeline, so I might write it down on a piece of paper so that I don't forget. But yeah, I need to do a few other stuff on my channel. Even if I don't do it all at the end of this year, I could start some of it next year in 2023. Or as some people like to say, 2023. But as I say, it's an idea and I'll write it down. But yeah, I need to do something like that. Finish off the Amiga music. I've only done 7 parts. I haven't uploaded more. I'm hoping to do more in the. I'm hoping to do some more just before Christmas, but you know, what else? But as I say, updates. I got to update some of my video game collections. I might show off my CD collection, but I need to find all the CDs that I have. So yeah, plenty of ideas. I know it's just a little bit of an update in a way, because a little bit of an update because, like I say, I want to try and add a few more stuff to the channel, you know. And as I say, I wouldn't be doing this stuff if it wasn't thanks to yous, because, like I say, your comments are the reason why I keep making these videos, because, like I say, it really makes my day. It does. Even if I just get one comment on the video, again, that's happy. I know some people get upset that, oh yeah, we're not getting enough comments. I mean, one comment is better than nothing, so it's a big deal. I don't think there's a big deal in that. I just feel as if some people take YouTube just a bit too seriously. It should have fun. Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the views. Don't do it for that. Just do it because you want to do it. And if you keep doing it, then you're going to find like-minded people. I found some great people on YouTube. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's, as I say, it's the smaller channels. I don't really follow the big channels unless it's a channel I genuinely like. I mean, if you like your Mr. Beast or your PewDiePie or whatever, if you like those sorts of channels, that's completely cool. It's just not for me. I'd say I've got no issue. Whether I think those channels deserve the subs they have, that's a different subject altogether. But as I say, you do you. Because I've seen people just want to do YouTube for the wrong reasons, and you can tell they're doing it for the wrong reasons because there's no joy. You can see in some people, like Top Hat Gaming Man and Lady Decade, for example. Some are just doing it for I don't know. It comes across as it is malicious. They're only using it just to try and sponge out of people, and you're thinking, oh yeah, because it's the gaming community. Gaming community is one of the biggest on YouTube. So of course, we're gonna use it, abuse it, and try and sponge off of innocent people, which has happened. Yeah. Yeah, despite the debacle that those two have been in, Simps are still paying them. I mean, that's their problem. If they want to go bankrupt, then they're going to have to deal with it, aren't they? So, yeah. Yeah. And I know on one of my previous streams I mentioned that I enjoyed the American sitcom Frasier. Yeah, the reason why I started getting into Frasier was, believe it or not, when I was off school sick. I'm not sure how old I was. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. I don't know. I discovered it. I think it sorted itself out. But anyway, I got into Frasier when I was 8 or 9 years old. I watched it. I first watched it when I was off school sick. Yeah, of all things. And I can't remember which episode it was that got me into the show, but for whatever reason, I was hooked. Yeah, at the time, I didn't know what kind of Dr. Frasier Crane was, apart from I liked him. It was as simple as that. But, I mean, I now know that he's a psychiatrist, yeah. I now know that, but as a kid, when I watched it for the first time, I didn't know what it was. But, I just enjoyed it. And my favourite character has always been Niles Crane. It's always been Niles. Yeah. I know, I just enjoy listening to him get into a bit of a quarrel and sometimes, as I say, I know it's funny when he gets himself into a state. I mean, one time, I don't know, it was funny, there was an episode where he kept hyperventilating. No, it was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, if it wasn't for Frasier, I wouldn't have discovered the show that it was a spin-off of, which of course, Frasier's a spin-off of Cheers, which, I mean, that is an absolutely one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. One of the best American sitcoms. I mean, as a kid, I used to think Friends was the best American sitcom. I mean, as a kid, I was obsessed with Friends. Though, to be honest with you, I watched it recently. I just don't find it anywhere near as funny as I did. If anything, I didn't even laugh once. But as I say, I get it has its fans, but honestly, yeah, I much prefer Cheers and Frasier these days. I certainly do. I even prefer Seinfeld, though, where you don't. I mean, I know they used to show Seinfeld here on BBC Two, I believe, but yeah, they haven't shown it here on UK television in years. Like the other sitcom with Al Bundy, which is Married with Children. Again, I used to watch that all the time. but yeah, there's a YouTube channel where a Married with Children YouTube channel where it has like all the clips from near enough all the episodes. So same, they do the same with there's a Seinfeld channel, where it's got like that. Again, I think those shows are better than Friends. I know Friends may be the more popular choice for most people, but you know what? And the funniest thing is, Friends isn't even the most successful US sitcom of all time. It's one of them. The most successful American sitcom of all time is MASH. And I have not watched an episode of MASH in years, but I don't know, I used to watch reruns of it all the time as a kid. I absolutely enjoyed it. But even then, I still prefer the even though I like the American sitcoms, such as Frasier, I still think when it comes to comedy and humour, us Brits just do it better. I'm sorry, there's no ifs or buts about that. Well, in my opinion, at least, though, I reckon a lot of people feel that sentiment. Especially, Only Fools and Horses, absolutely fantastic. May have seen it a few too many times, but you can't deny that it's a classic. I absolutely love it. Last of the Summer Wine, I don't mind the Last of the Summer Wine, but I got be anything. As soon as Compo passed away, Bill Owen, that was it. The show went shit. I'll be honest with you. And they were just scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I think it's the longest running sitcom in the UK, the longest running sitcom. Like, it started in the early 70s, and I think it ended in 2010 or something. I don't know. But the old episodes of the last Summer of Wine are fantastic. When they had Compo, Cleggy, and Foggy, they were the best characters. But you had other characters like Howard, Marina, and all them lot. It was a show that was good, but as I say, it lasted far longer than it needed to. But some of the sitcoms that lasted a very short time, like The Young Ones and Bottom, they're absolutely fantastic. I could watch them for hours. I remember watching The Young Ones for the first time. I can't remember how old I was. I couldn't stop laughing. And that show I'd say it was a show that made me love Rick Mayall a lot more. May he rest in peace, of course. But the first thing I ever saw him in as a kid. The film itself, it's not the greatest film in the world, but I remember watching Drop Dead Fred with him. Yeah, it's not the best film, but it's not terrible. So but as I watched Young Ones and I watched Bottom, I was obsessed. The live ones at Bottom did are absolutely hilarious. I think one of them was called Hooligans Island. A live tour they did back in '97, I think it were. Absolutely fantastic. I was in absolute stitches. Absolute stitches. What other shows do I like? I quite like. Was it? I'm trying to think. Was it? Is it Till Death Do Us Part? Yeah, that show with Alf Garnett, and I know I like him because he just says it how it is. He's not afraid to speak his mind. I know some people might think, some of the stuff might be a bit old fashioned, from the woke brigade who've probably never even seen this show before, but absolutely classics. Absolutely. I'm trying to think of other shows I like. 40 Towers is great. Why on earth did they only make 12 episodes? It's like ripping yarns. They only made about 9 episodes of that. Anything with John Cleese in or Michael Palin, fantastic. And that's why I like Monty Python's Flying Circus. But there's something about those shows that you don't get with today's modern humour. I mean, I haven't really enjoyed any of the last like couple of modern like sitcoms. I mean, I know people talk about Gavin and Stacey. It's not the worst, but I didn't really enjoy it all that much. I mean, I think the last one I enjoyed was The In-Betweeners. Though that was actually quite funny. There was another one called The IT Crowd. It's alright, but nothing else big. I used to like that one. What was that one? It was Black Books. If anyone hasn't seen that though, yeah, Black Books, absolutely fantastic though. It's a sitcom where with I know it's Bill Bailey, but is it Bill Bailey or is Bill Bailey, and what was the other fella that was in it? It was something Moran. I cannot think of his first name, but I thought it was a show I thought I discovered that show by complete and utter accident. I loved it. One show when I did I did a video a couple of months ago showing off my favourite TV shows. One sitcom I didn't mention though, and that is The League of Gentlemen. I have not watched that show in years, but the humour in that is absolutely fantastic. It's dark humour, and some people might find it a little bit, I don't know, mundane, but I don't know, just something about that show I absolutely loved. I could go on about this all day, but I know, but I don't want to make this video too long because, like I say, British Gas are coming out and sorting the radiator out in the bathroom. But yeah, I enjoy doing these videos because, like I say, when I've got the time, I'm like, you know what, I'll just make a video. But when I do these videos, I don't make them for the sake of it. I plan it first, and I sort of plan the topics. I mean, there are times where I look for topics to discuss because I'm like, I haven't written any ideas out, and then any ideas out, and they just pops into my head like, oh well, we'll talk about TV, we'll talk about the football, we'll talk about movies or whatever springs to mind. And watching everyone else's videos sort of gives me inspiration to think of my own questions and topics to come up with the videos, because like I say it gives me something to enjoy. If I did a video for the sake of it, I probably wouldn't. I'll be honest, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel, because like I say, if you're just doing videos for the sake of it, you're not enjoying it. You've got to at least have fun whilst doing them. You've got to, I don't know, let yourself go. I don't mean like that, you dirty buggers. Yeah, but people, I haven't really got anything else to say. But to those who enjoy my content, then thank you. It makes me feel happy. And sorry that I keep wiping my eyes because, I'd say allergies. I know they love it. I mean, even if I did the video at a different time, like of an afternoon or an evening, even then sometimes it'll kick off. It sometimes kicks off when I'm not even doing anything. The littlest thing, and it'll just be like, oh yeah. Yeah. At this point I'm waffling. So I think I will call this vlog an end. So anyway, I hope you all have a safe day, and I shall see you in the next one or the next video. Until then, take care.